Hello and welcome to Ginger Prime. My name is Brian and today I wanted to dive into how you can make money in this game without ever crafting or gathering in the world of Final Fantasy XIV. If you want to jump to any specific part of this video, you can always use the YouTube playhead to easily scrub through the video and find the information that you need so you can get back into the game itself faster. Also, if you have any questions and this video doesn't answer them, feel free to sound off in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them here or in future videos if needed. Plus, if you're looking for any more information about Final Fantasy XIV, check the top link in the description for the Final Fantasy playlist, and hopefully you're going to find something that you enjoy. At the time of this recording, we're actually getting close to our goal of 50,000 subscribers here on this channel, and if you haven't subscribed yet, let me know if this is the video that gets you to hit that subscribe button so I can officially welcome you in the comments. Now, if you've already subscribed, you know that you're a true legend, a beautiful human being, and I love you very much. Thank you for subscribing, and that's what you get for subscribing, by the way, free compliments in my videos. And as an aside, today's video is sponsored by Mario for 13 months of support at the $1 a month membership level, as well as Valentine for joining the Muhammad membership club. Thank you so much for your support. Your support makes videos like this possible, and if you want to consider sponsoring future videos, check out the join button here on the channel for more information. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into this guide. So, in Final Fantasy XIV, crafting and gathering is a great way to make money, but more often than not, people ask me, Brian, how do you make money in this game if you don't want to craft or gather? And honestly, there's a lot of different ways. So this is going to be the focus of it. First and foremost, we're going to just hit start and we're going to go to our duty finder. This is going to be a really great introduction for anybody who's ever considered checking out this game. First and foremost, as you level up, you're going to unlock multiple different kinds of different roulettes that all stem and benefit you in multiple different ways. So it's really good if you want to try and capitalize off of that with using both the roulette themselves and the roll in need. So if you look here just at the screen itself, the roll in need is healer. That's going to give me an additional, income, additional seals that I can use to turn in and grab other items, plus other things that I can use to benefit myself both in power at the later part of the game, or I can use that to sell. So you're going to be giving yourself lots of opportunities to really kind of feed the market with supplies without ever having to pick up any of the Disciples of the Hand or land. So whenever you pull up your duty finder, if let's say you play more than one role, that's going to benefit you in the long run having more than one role that you play, because that's going to give you more odds at it. But you can see here I've got a couple different options looking for healers, and I got a couple different options looking for tanks. Occasionally you will see a DPS pop up in here. It just really depends on what the system is needed, aka adventure in need. So using the venture in need system is going to give you a massive boost to your income just by playing normally. But essentially what you're looking for is these clusters that you get here, because you can trade those in for high-end materia, which you can either use on your own character or sell on the markets for a steady flow of income. If you guys are watching this guide in preparation for the future expansion and Endwalker, note that being able to grab those additional and high-end materia is going to give you an added benefit both at the end game, if that's something you're interested in, or if nothing else, be able to dominate the markets while everybody's excited about it. So now markets themselves are going to ebb and flow. Typically, you're going to make your most bang for your buck around a patch in this game or an expansion in this game. And typically you want to be buying up materials prior to a patch, because you'll see the markets kind of rise and fall. Typically they rise in price when a patch is happening, and then they fall right before a patch as less and less people are actively playing the game and managing the markets themselves. All right. So we've run our roulette, we've gotten our drops, and this is where it comes into play even more so. Undertake supply and provisioning missions. Here you can see under the expert delivery tab for my grand company, which is the adders, you can have, and this will actually be for any of the grand companies, Flames or the Maelstrom, depending on which one you join, but all of them are going to have the ability to turn in items. You will, however, have to rank up with your grand company to be able to unlock some of these features, but it's important nevertheless. What you never want to see in a piece of content that this game offers is loot hit the ground. You never want to see that happen, because you want to roll on absolutely everything. Again, you're not crafting or gathering, but you want to roll on everything, because you can come in here and you can turn this all in For seals, this is going to feed up your seals meter, essentially, which you can see here up in the corner. At the highest cap that I'm at right now, it's 80,000, but note that you can actually get, I think, even higher at this time of this recording. But talking to my quartermaster here, I can then go into the material and materials tab. Don't ask me why they named them this way, but this is why they are. At a minimum, you can even just, if you want to save yourself, money, just buying your own repair materials so you can self-repair if you actually do touch crafting is important. But you can also take these repair materials and sell them on the market. Just look at everything that's here and find something that you feel is not being represented on the market themselves. Here is where I'd point you to a website called Universals as a way of kind of gauging prices if you were wanting to do this in real time. So note you can take a look at that website for managing market flips and prices and history. I'll include a link in the description of this video for you below to help use that tool. But overall, you can dive in, find some things like it doesn't necessarily, in my opinion, matter what you're buying because you're taking free currency and turning it into gil because you're going to supply the market. Looking at demand, we'll cover that here when we get to the market board more in a second, but note that just pick anything. If I want to pick some smoked bacon, I can pick some smoked bacon. I'm going to buy, like 10 of these just for example. And then I turn seals into bacon. You know what? You're bringing home the bacon. I didn't actually intend on that analogy, but it is what it is, and it works. All right, we're going to go over the market boards here in just a second, but I also want to show you while I'm here, hunts. Hunts are also another feature that unlock, and they work differently for the Heavensward, Stormblood, and Shadowbringers areas, but if nothing else, you can see here you're going to get Allied Seals or Centrino Seals. I'm going to look at Allied Seals Other as just a way of saving yourself money. Ventures are an excellent way, and we'll cover our retainer ventures here in just a second, but another way of saving money is Aetheryte tickets. Finding ways to earn your, especially you want to do hunts while you're leveling as well, as they're a great source of experience, but they're also valuable to you to be able to have free teleports. If you don't want to have to pay for somebody or pay for your teleports, guess what? Aetheryte tickets are for sale, and that's just going to save you a lot of money in the long run of the game. Again, you're going to be doing this kind of content naturally, so feel free to dive in and take advantage of that. Let's go talk about our retainers, and let's kind of talk about the market board, and we got a couple more tips coming your way. I'm going to use one of those Aetheryte tickets because why not? Why not save a little bit of my gil for the teleport? So another great way to make money in this game is to dive into retainer ventures. You saw that I can use Allied Seals. There's lots of ways you can actually acquire retainer ventures by doing your Beastman dailies, by purchasing them outright, but overall you can buy up plenty of ventures that all stack up a part of this currency. In this case, I've already done a venture report, and I am just going to keep sending them out. And one thing I can do, which you're not seeing me do here, I'm just doing a basic level field exploration level 70 hunt. They're just going to go out for 18 hours and they're going to do that. However, I can go and shift over here to another retainer. I'm going to pick on Catbat here. And if I say view adventure report complete, and I'm going to say confirm, that's thank you very much for your service. I'm going to go assign adventure. And here's where you can start hunting and getting certain items. Now, depending on what you have equipped, if I wanted to have them go out and hunt tiger skin, I can do so. The thing about this venture is that it's going to be a 1 hour venture. They're going to just go out for an hour and come back. So in this case, I could be feeding myself tiger skin as an item that I can use for sale in the markets. What you want to do though, is you want to find things that obviously maybe have a good sale through. They have a quick turnaround. So you can have your retainer constantly running out for you, gathering these items, and then you can use to sell those on the market. You're not crafting, you're not gathering. So if we go over to the markets themselves, just back out of that menu and go to the markets themselves, let me pick on tiger skin. See my horrible spelling. And here's where I can see a single tiger skin is going to go for 305, and high qualities looks like they start around 800. That's the current market listing. If I want to check the market history, I can see that typically the price varies. So around 300 is what they sell. Maybe somebody bottomed out the market and now not a lot of people are buying up the items, or they've already purchased those items, and thus our base price is now set at 305. Now, when you're going to sell an item on the markets, you can always check what price it last was. By default, items in the system, let me just go pick on something for sale. So I'm going to say sell items that I have on the market, and then say this high steel nugget. I can come up here to compare prices, and I can see what the last item or what the lowest priced item is being sold. If I want to check its history, I can select this option up right here for history, and I can see what the prices normally go for, because typically you can see here, it's just saying high steel nugget selling for 9. That's the vendor price. You actually could just right click and say, have retainers sell items to vendor that right away. But in this case, I'm not going to do something so foolish because the price of these things is relatively good. So if I just set this at 700, and now I put that up for sale, and ideally it's going to sell. Let's say you find something like the smoked bacon. In this case, it's not the most. It's in this case 10. If I go look at its history to see what it normally sells for, it's not the best item to sell, but I can go ahead and sell it because it is more than the vendor price, and I can list that up for sale as well. If you find something like that doesn't necessarily sell for more than vendor, let's see if I have an item like that. Let's go with the boiled eggs, selling for actually much better than what vendor offers. Clear prism selling for 5, up for 30. So things are a little bit up higher than they normally are. Typically I have 1 or 2 items that don't sell that well. Here I've got some tiger skins. I'm gonna put those up for 800 in this case. See if those end up selling through. But you can always find items that aren't selling for what you really want them to sell for. Jeez Louise, I might as well sell that now. Not for the 1 though. Come in here and adjust price. Let's put it up for that and see what happens. All right. And so there I am now listing items up for sale on the market, and thus my retainers are going out and finding things for me on the market. So I'm constantly getting myself, funneled various items that I can use to profit off of and feed myself with gil. Now, another thing I want to jump into is under actions and traits and under general command, Materia extraction. We talked about like the clusters giving yourself a benefit here earlier, but what we haven't talked about is that as you level, as you play the game, your gear is getting spirit bonded, and you can see here overall what my spirit bonded items are. Let me move my little menu out of the way from the helping tool here. And right now I'm at 74%, 63%. Okay, like none of this is fully spirit bonded yet. But if I go into like my offhands, if I go into my armory chest, everything that's listed here in white is spirit bonded. So what you want to start doing here is you want to come in here and you want to go ahead and just extract the materia out of it. It's going to take it out of that 100%. It doesn't destroy the gear. Literally, I am just getting myself materia by spirit bonding. So if anything that's at 100% isn't going to go any higher, so you're just, honestly, you're just sitting on inventory that could be used and turned into materia. So you're just sitting here wasting that kind of time. So just note your gear is getting spirit bonded, and by playing the game, you want to be able to get that materia rocking and rolling, and so you're going to have yourself a whole bunch of materia that you can use or you can equip. And it does not take a long time to pull out the materia from the system itself. So now I'm going to take a little bit of time and talk to you guys about market flips. Now, Final Fantasy, as you do the MSQ and play the game, it's just going to hand you a lot of money. Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of gil are just going to be at your disposal, and you can take some of that gil and turn that into seed money, which will allow you to put up tons of items that you can just purchase with gil or with your Beastman currency and be able to list those for a lot of profit. Let me show you how that works today. Now, here I am, I'm at my house, and my house happens to be right next to a market board, but I want to show you exactly how fast this can be. What you're going to probably want to do if you don't have house or have access to it, you will want to go find some of these items off of any vendor that sells them, typically around the different guilds that they're related to. So in my case, I'm going to talk to materials supplier here, and I'm going to focus here on lumber, metal, stone, bone, etc. And I'm going to find some ore that I think would sell fairly well. If I just look here at like iron ore, sells for 18. Let me grab a stack of that at 99, and let me grab a stack of copper ore, which sells for 2 for 99. You can look at other stones, but we're just going to focus in on these two as an example. Let me go and buy those as well. So there we go. I've got 2 stacks. You know what? Let's just make it. Let's buy a bunch of iron. So anyway, I have spent some odd 6,000 gil on acquiring some more. And I'll run back up my stairs, and I could obviously do this so much faster if I rearranged where my vendors are in my home, but at the end of the day, like you do you. And let me go ahead and run over here, and I'm going to go ahead and list what I just bought for incredibly cheap money. So I'm going to focus in on this retainer here, and I'm going to say and sell items in my inventory, and I'm going to go ahead and focus in on the different ores that I purchased. So we've got them somewhere in this list. Here is my iron ore. I'm going to sell it. I bought it for 18, so anything that I sell over 18 with obviously the taxes and fees is at a profit. Right now the lowest price for iron is at 40. So I can list actually at 40 if I want. If I want to be a little sneaky, I can sell it for 39. So I bought a stack for 17. In this case, I'm more than doubling my money. Then maybe I'll just list some 40s. And there we go. Now my iron's listed. Let's take a look at that copper. Let's see what it's selling for. 73 right now at the time. I paid 2. I paid 2 gil. And I'm going to sell it for 70. So that is, let me see what this sells for. I'm just curious. 120. Okay. And that's essentially a market flip within the game itself. Now, as your retainers, and I didn't mention this earlier, but as your retainers go out on their ventures and they return to you silver pieces, if you've unlocked the Dome and Enclave and have leveled that up, you can actually turn in silver pieces to the Dome and Enclave for double what they're worth. So just note that you can actually hold on to these and do a market, an in-game printing of money that way as well. And that's just you using your retainers and having them bring you silver pieces. But I'm going to go ahead and just remove those from my inventory and thus feed myself with a little more gil, in this case 47,000 gil in addition to what I've got. All right, so final tips are, we talked about the Aetheryte tickets and how you can use those to get around and save yourself some money. But also just in terms of saving money, you can also register a favorite destination. If you use the dual factor authentication token, you can actually register a free destination, meaning you can teleport there for free. But a favorite destination will allow you to teleport there at any point in time. So you can sit here and do that. In this case, you can see the star. That means it's already a favorite destination. If I go to my teleport menu, anything with a star will actually be essentially what is a favorite destination. So I'm allowed to teleport around, and it cuts the cost to teleport there in half. So that's going to be a huge fee reduction in terms of your travel. Now, personally, I would not necessarily recommend always taking a free company buff or reduced rates, because essentially you're only saving around 20% of your teleportation costs. This is great for expansion time. This is great for patch time when you're doing a lot of traveling, but overall, you're not going to, I think, teleport enough that it's really going to benefit you more than something like an increased experience would. Obviously, that's going to vary based off of your free company needs, but using Aetheryte tickets and using favorite destinations, especially for places that you go back to a lot, will save you countless hours, countless skill in your current grind for that money. Hopefully this video has been a help. We talked about our duty finder bonuses, Adventure in Need, what that's going to get you, your gear exchange and sell, buying things off of your buying stuff off your grand company, your retainer ventures, materia extractions, and using the market to be able to try and find prices, and that's the Universals app. Guys, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Hopefully this video has been a help, and I look forward to talking with you guys more about Final Fantasy as more and more people come out and check out this incredible game. For Ginger Prime, my name is Brian. Again, thank you to all those who have hit that membership button and supported this channel and its growth. Thank you for everybody who's subscribed. You are a legend, and I do appreciate you. And that's what you get for subscribing. Free compliments, those free titles. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you have a great day, and hopefully I see you in my next video. But until then, take care.